Where does your passion from your job come from?
The passion for my job. I wasn't the best student when I was in school growing up. I had my struggles. Wasn't that I couldn't always do the work, but I just wasn't always interested. But when I gained that interest, I had to work even harder to get caught up, to make sure that I was on pace with everybody else. That I'm really passionate about making sure that all students have equitable opportunities to learn and to be successful and to establish their goals.
Who inspired you along the way?
So a lot of my mentors were coaches, and along the way, they planted seeds for me. They always told me that I was capable of doing things. They taught me how to set goals. They taught me the importance of going after your goals, even in the midst of adversity. So Coach Christopher, Coach Oshner, and my track coaches, Coach McClanahan, even going into college, I had my college football coaches as well. But even when I became an educator, I had some mentors along the way. And one was my principal when I was at California High School. I was working as a school psychologist. My principal pulled me aside at a soccer game, and he said, you know what? I think that you'd be a great administrator, and you should think about going into administration so you can be a leader. So Mark Cordy was definitely one of my mentors, and Patrick Sweeney. And along the way, there was always somebody there that was willing to put a hand out and make sure that I was okay and that I was going to reach my goals. So I would like to do the same for people.
What struggles have you faced going after your dream?
I think my struggles are internal. As I mentioned, just growing up, just not necessarily being into school at the level that I should have. And that kind of haunted me along the way. Always questioning myself, do I have the ability to do something? Am I smart enough? Am I good enough? And so I always have this constant battle inside of myself, wondering and questioning myself. So those are kind of the obstacles that I have to overcome. And I always have this internal fight or internal dialogue going on.
I am Cameron. This is Miss Carla. She is a speech pathologist at Robert Semple. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions.
Sure.
Where does your job passion come from?
My job passion comes from kids like you, who inspire me to go forward and keep doing it. And every day I see something magical happen. Being a speech pathologist is the greatest thing when those R's are right and when those S's come through. It is the bomb. So I find my passion in the children that I serve.
Who inspired you along the way?
Ooh, lots of people. My mom was number one. She inspired me to just go after my dreams and chase them. Because we've come from, a modest background. I wouldn't necessarily say poor, but I would say my mother was a gypsy. So we moved a lot. So she inspired me to continue to reach for my dreams. My real dream was to be a WNBA basketball.
Wow.
But I missed that window. So my next dream came true because I talked a lot when I was little, a whole lot. And I thought, speech pathology, it's got to be the way. That's what I thought. It's got to be the greatest answer. I get to talk, teach, laugh, play,
What struggles have you had to figure out along the way?
Struggles I've had to figure out along the way. Some of the struggles were there's a lot of isms, like because I'm a woman, that would be sexism. Because I've been poor, I want to say povertyism. Environmental challenges, struggles, sexism, like I said, being a woman and wanting to reach out and do a lot of things and push myself to levels. There's some spaces in my life where it was like, oh, Carla, you can't do that because you're a girl. So I've struggled those were my struggles. I served in the military, so that was a struggle, being a combat medic in a place full of men. Again, being a woman out there in the field, saving lives. That was a struggle, and I think that's it for me. I really don't concentrate on the things that have struggled because they've only made me stronger and more driven, and has afforded me the opportunity to practice kindness, and spread a little love You know, I know we hug every day.
Yeah, at the second question, my mom actually had to move a lot because she had 2 brothers, and they were a handful. But she was the oldest, and she was the shortest too.
Me too.
But they had to move around a lot. But if she hadn't been moving around, she wouldn't have met my dad.
Met your dad, and I also want to just speak real briefly, of course, for our ancestors. Okay, everything that we learn about during Black History Month is our history, and it's true to the fact that our struggles have only made us as a whole, a people, stronger. Sometimes we feel weak, and but if you look back on our ancestors and the things in our historical aspects of our lives, that they have done a lot to pave the way for us to be able to sit here and have this conversation today. So I think that is the passion and the drive that if they can do it, so can I.
Yeah, I always feel so impressed. How do they pay for all of these bills for houses and the food and cars and stuff? And I feel I'm so happy to have a loving family.
Me too. That's a great thing to say. Great thing. Happy Black History Month.
Happy Black History Month.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming and letting me interview you. I have a few questions for Black History Month.
Thanks for having me, Donnie. It's a pleasure to be here.
Where does your passion for your job come from?
Well, I was lucky enough to grow up in a house where they played lots of different types of music all the time. And my mom and dad played different stuff, and I listened to records at my grandma's house. And the more I listened to, the more I liked, and I think that just kind of followed me through life. And I always wanted to listen to more music, and I'd look for music in the weirdest places, because sometimes it's like finding treasure, you know what I mean? And so that's what I'm passionate about. I'm always passionate about finding that new, really interesting song to play. And I enjoy music. It makes me happy.
And who inspired you along the way?
Boy. A lot of people along the way. When I was a kid, I used to listen to rappers and DJs and stuff like that. I think my favorite DJ when I was a kid was Jazzy Jeff. He's amazing. And then I used to have this, I'm going kind of off the rails here, but I used to have this stereo, this boombox, and you could get radio stations from different parts of the country and different parts of the world. And so sometimes I'd be able to listen to DJs in other parts of the country. There was a DJ, Cameron Paul. That's real old school. He used to do these incredible mixes back in the day. And I was like your age, dude. And I would listen. I'd stay up late so I could listen to him, and I would record it on a little cassette and listen to it. And when I was a teenager, I used to listen to this dude named Jose Melendez. He was a fantastic DJ. I don't even know if he's still doing it, but I would listen to how he played music, and just try to do those same kind of, style and tricks and things like that. And then over time, I just developed my own things that I like to do. So what was the question? Sorry.
I love it. And what struggles have you faced going after your dreams?
Well, just kind of knowing what you're worth as a DJ or as any kind of profession. When I was starting out, I did a lot of stuff for free, just because I just wanted to play music, and I just wanted people to hear me play music. And so I would play places and not get paid. I didn't at one point I didn't even have a car, and a friend of mine would drive me to gigs, and I just had to show up with my records and play, and they'd wait for me and then take me back home. And then I was a dad at a young age too, so I had couple jobs and trying to DJ too, and that didn't really work out. So later on in life, I had to pick it up again and decide to do it professionally. So, just a lot of life stuff, trying to take care of a family and hold a job. But if it's something that you're truly passionate about, you're always going to have it in the back of your mind, and that's what I did. I always had it in the back of my mind.
Hi, I am Cameron. I am here with another speech pathologist from Bravo Temple. Her name is Miss Asina. I would like to ask you a couple questions.
Absolutely.
What does your passion for your job come from?
So I love speech, first and foremost. My major was communications. I wanted to get into sports broadcasting because for me growing up, it was really important to hear the stories of the athletes and to share their stories and how much dedication that they have to put into their craft. So when I personally decided not to go that route, I decided to explore communication sciences because I did come across people that could not use their voice, and I really felt like that sucked. So I wanted to figure out a way how to help them get their voice across because it's really important to advocate for yourself, right?
Who inspired you along the way?
My family, 100%. So growing up in a Jamaican household, first generation immigrants coming over, they really inspired me how to just stand up for myself again, that advocate for yourself. And I felt like it was really important to lean into that. And then even now as being a mom, my family is very important to me. So they drive me every single day.
What struggles have you had to face along the way?
It's a loaded question. But what I like to kind of speak to are the microaggressions. I feel like if you don't have your perspective set on what you're trying to accomplish, it can hinder you.
Yeah.
And those struggles can just really become roadblocks. So I like to circle back to my passion and using your voice, and just when you find yourself in those situations, how to, again, advocate, use your voice, and help educate along the way so you can kind of smash the microaggressions.
Yeah.
Where does your passion for your job come?
I am a vice president for Mitsubishi, and I have been an executive for since 1994. I have been an executive. So I have been an executive for a long time. The passion for my job, no matter which company I work for, is very simple. I must have fun in what I do. If I'm not having fun, I leave and go to another company or do something that is fun. What I have found is that when I enjoy myself, I have never had to worry about money, and I don't have any stress, and life is good that way.
Who inspired you along the way?
I was inspired in my life in 3 situations. I was first inspired by a teacher when I was deemed to be a special ed student and a slow learner, and the teacher realized that I was actually 2 to 3 grades above my grade level, not 2 or 3 grades below. So that inspired me. Also inspired me was my family. Although we grew up very poor on the south side of Chicago in the housing projects, I had very good family members around me that inspired me to go for my goals. But also, most importantly, the person that inspired me was my wife, Renee, who believed in me, encouraged me, and supported me, supported us moving from Chicago, supported my job changes, supported my career changes, and supported me along the way. For you young folks out there, find someone who believes in you. That's the best that you could ever have in your life.
What struggles have you faced going after your dream?
The struggles I face going after my dreams are the struggles of anyone. I have enjoyed great success for a long time and at a very young age. The struggle of maintaining success, as well as the doubt that, can I do this? Am I the right person? Will this work? Is something I believe in. What I have done to deal with the struggles is I go with a concept of focus on the solution, and that's what I do. I focus on the solution and not the problem. So I would encourage those of you to focus on your solutions to your opportunities. The other struggle that faces me are the struggles that any person of color sometimes faces. It's microaggressions and biases, and not letting that get you down. Do not let someone's biases hold you from your dreams. Take those biases, pretend they don't exist, and go forward with your dream. Nothing hurts someone who wants to hold you down for biased reasons than for you to succeed and soar. What you will learn as you grow older, the best revenge in life is happiness. Thank you.
Where does your passion for your job come from?
Well, I started dancing at a very young age, and I walked on my toes when I was a baby, and my mom was like, "What are you, a ballet dancer or something?" And for some reason, that just stuck. And the more I realized how I was walking on my toes and saw the dancing like on TV, I became so engaged and tried to copy a lot of the moves, especially from, you may not know these artists, but maybe you do, like Madonna, Janet Jackson, Michael Jackson. You do? Okay, so a lot of those artists really enhanced my passion for dance, and I found so many different ways to dance in school, be a cheerleader, do talent shows, dance in the community, dance around my neighborhood. So that really inspired me to really fall in love with dance specifically.
Wow, that sounded like a fun journey through your dance.
It was a fun journey.
Second question.
Okay.
Who inspired you along the way?
Ooh, well, I definitely would say there are a few people, and I'm gonna say Debbie Allen was one of my favorite choreographers. She just had this flair and this confidence, and she was the way she spoke and educated her dancers, she really inspired me to be like her, which is what influenced me to be more of a choreographer, somebody who actually makes the routines up and choreographs the dancers and perform. And then I also admired and liked Paula Abdul. She was a Laker girl, because I'm a big Laker fan. And I was like, who was doing those moves? And then I found out it was her. And then she comes out as an artist, and she's tap dancing and doing jazz and hip hop and all kinds of stuff. I'm like, wow, she's so versatile. So she actually inspired me to learn more of the technique, like jazz and ballet. And then, of course, I can't forget my mom. Mm-hmm. My mom was, she was a single mother. She raised me and my 3 sisters, so there's 4 of us. She had 4 girls. Wow. She raised us all, and we all came out pretty cool. And she definitely always pushed us, and she worked hard. She disciplined us, but she always told us to work hard and go after what we want. So those are the 3. For sure.
What struggles have you faced going after your dream?
Okay, struggles. Well, we don't have all day, so I'm good, because there's been a few, but we're gonna name a few. One of them is definitely starting a business, being a woman. Being a woman, small business owner, was just enough to face a lot of struggles and obstacles, rejections. Not only that, but like a woman of color, like somebody who didn't have everything growing up. So I didn't grow up with a lot of money. I grew up in a pretty poor, bad neighborhood. And, just seeing those things didn't influence me to stop believing in what I wanted. So I'm very lucky that I learned from those struggles. And then, of course, seeing my mom struggle raising 4 girls by herself. So it just helped me to push. Work hard and don't take any rejections. If you get knocked down, get back up, keep going after it, consistency. So the consistency helped me push through my struggles.
Wow.
Yep, and here I am today. So I've been a professional dancer now for over 20 years, and I've had my business for 6 years. And I will say this, if I gave up a long time ago, I wouldn't be where I'm at today.
That is right. If you give up on your dream, you might not be able to face it when you
got it, girl. Yes. That's
Thank
it.
you so much for
No,
taking
thank
some
you.
time.
What's your name again?
Cece.
Cece and Gigi. Cece and Gigi.
Hello, everybody. My name is Gianna. This is Miss Raz.
Hello.
Today we're at Affluent Notions Art Gallery. We are going to take a tour and ask her some questions. You see, this room is her office.
There must be some kind of way out of here.
Cookbooks in there. And again, a lot more books by and about women. And poetry. My favorite poetry book that just came out, Kevin Powell, Grocery Shopping with My Mother. I love it. And I like poetry, what can I say? Nicolene Thomas is one of my favorites. As a matter of fact, she's going to be as SF Jazz on 25th, and I'm going to see her. Again, children's books. Right now we're featuring a book for Black History Month, but I always keep out my ballerinas and my unicorns. There's the STEM section, starting with the chapter books. Over here we have all music, little books for little people. And then we have art books, and on this side we have books for, I would say, middle school through high school. This series over here on the table is absolutely phenomenal, right here. Boy, this was all for middle and high school. Are there any questions that you have?
What Black history person decided to open this gallery?
No Black history person inspired me to open this gallery. What inspired me to open this gallery were children. When I opened first, I had 3 daughters, young daughters, and I was always traveling across the bridge to Oakland and San Francisco to find books for them to see themselves in. Books by and about our people. There was nothing on this side of the bridge, and I figured if I was tired of crossing the bridge, other people would be tired of crossing the bridge.
How did you meet the artist of these paintings?
I have been really blessed in that I don't have to go and find the artist. They seem to have found me. The only artist that I went looking for was the national artist of Jamaica. His name was Gene Hendricks Pearson. He's a sculptor, and I love his sculpture. And most of that's at my house. But I did sell some here in the gallery.
What was it like growing up when it was like back in the day?
Back in the day. Probably kind of like it is for you a bit. It was fun. There were lots of children around, even though they were just my sister and myself, and I've always loved art, and I was pretty good in school. So they used to let me do all of the bulletin boards. That's what we used to call them, all the bulletin boards. I did all the artwork for those.
But there was always racism, unfortunately, and I did have to learn how to handle and maneuver that.
What kind of problems did you face on the way to making your dream happen?
Well, I gotta tell you, I didn't know what I was doing when I first started off. I didn't even know where all these books would come from. But you know what I did? I just picked up a book that I had at my house, and I opened it and I looked at the publishing page and I said, oh, Abrams. So then I went online and I found out who produced Abrams books, called the number and said, send me a catalog. That's how I started finding books. Well, I want to thank you both for coming in to Ethnic Notions and interviewing and filming. I really appreciate it. And I look forward to seeing you at Robert Simple Elementary during story time. Of course, if you want to do something, you can do it. You don't need anybody's permission. It's going to take some work. But if you fix your sights on something, if there's something you want to do, there isn't anything, nothing, nobody who can stop you from accomplishing whatever it is you want to accomplish. And don't let anybody tell you that you can't do something. Whenever somebody says you can't, that just gives you more energy and more stamina to say, yes, I can. Never stop dreaming and never stop fighting for being who you are.